Hey guys, so it's time to do some sauce from frozen tomatoes, primarily because I'm running out of room in my freezer. As you can see, I've got tomatoes everywhere, and no room to put my meatballs. So I am going to start with a single bucket. This meat. 5-gallon bucket. I don't know how much it weighs, a lot. 30 pounds. As everything falls everywhere here. So I'm just going to let the tomatoes thaw in the bucket, and then I will pull the meat out and let the water drain to the bottom. So I'm just going to leave them out here in the garage for a while. And it'll take a couple days for the thaw to happen, and then we'll come back to it and I'll show you how to make it into sauce. Hey guys, so it's been about 24 hours on the tomatoes, and there's still, see that ice on there? Still defrosting, but you can see how much they've kind of deflated in the bucket. So I put some over here for us to look at more in depth. So let me just get you set up here. So I took some of those tomatoes and put them in one of my water bath canners, and I just wanted to show you how much water there is in there. And what that is the water or the juice from the tomatoes. That's pretty much all that's in here. But you can see how much has come out. So you can save that water and can it separately if you want. It's like a juice. But you'll see, so when the tomatoes thaw, you don't have to worry about juicing them. All you have left is the meat. And then we'll take this and make it into a sauce. But that's one of the beautiful things about freezing the tomatoes, because when they thaw, you don't have to worry about getting rid of all that extra liquid. You don't have to worry about ladling it out or squeezing the tomatoes before you make your sauce. It just comes out of the tomato because the cell walls exploded during the freezing process, and when they thaw, the water comes out of the exploded cell. So there you have it. We'll check back in when everything is ready to go into the roaster. Hey guys, so while that other bucket's draining, I just wanted to take these tomatoes, or bring them in the house here, and show you how I process them to go into the roaster or into your stock pot or whatever you're doing. So I just take off any green bits or any bits that are yucky, and then you can keep the skin in because I blend it at the end. You can remove the skin. Some people take the skin and dehydrate it and make a tomato powder, which I think is really interesting to do, and I really should try that, but I'm not going to try it now. And I'm going to need to get a bowl because I don't want any of the tomato going down the sink. Alright, so now I've got a bowl right there. So let's see, let's get another tomato. So this is a black tomato, beautiful tomato. I'm going to pull this out, and it's going to let the water continue to run out of it. These are still pretty cold, they're pretty icy, so that's why I've got the colander here. I might have to leave part of it out here. Just strain. And another one. So you can tell what I'm doing. I'm just looking at the tomato. If there's a bad spot on it, like there is on this blossom end rot, I'm just going to take that off and toss it. And then take off the green part, which I really should have done before I froze them, but I was being lazy, etc., etc. So I'm going to do that until this pot is empty, and drain this, and then we'll take it over to the roaster. Hey guys, So I took the rest of those tomatoes and I put them in my big giant colander here, which I put on my bucket. Then I weighted it down to really press out any extra water, tomato water that, or juice or whatever you call it, nectar that was in there. So now I'm going to sit here and painstakingly go through this batch and remove any of the greenery from tomatoes. I'll put the All right, you guys, so that whole 5-gallon bucket is only this much tomato with the water removed. So this is what we were processing earlier. It's just meat and skin and some seeds. And I took the tomato water, see how clear that is? That drained out of the tomatoes. I'm going to reduce it. It's really nice to keep and just use by itself. You could can it. It's a base for soups or stews, anything you want a little tomato flavor in, sauces, whatever. And it's pretty cool because it's clear, but it tastes like tomato, so that's kind of interesting. But I'm going to boil this down to really get the sweet going in there. And then once I'm done with this sauce, if I need more liquid or if I want to sweeten it up a little bit, I'll just put some of that tomato water in here. So we're just got it on 250. I'm going to cut up some garlic and put garlic in there, and then we're just going to let this rock and roll for a while, and we'll check back in a little bit. Okay, we're going to take the tomato mixture out of the roaster now, and you can see there's very little water in there, and then we're going to blend it up. So here I go. Okay, I've got half of it in here, and now I'm going to blend it and let's see what we get. Okay, you can definitely see how thick this is right now. And one of the issues with freezing and then thawing tomatoes is that a lot of the flavor gets lost because it goes into the tomato water. So, as we talked about before, I took the tomato water and I reduced it from here down to here, and now I'll add it back in until I reach the desired thickness that I'd like. I could leave it like a paste and add just a little of that in, or I can thin it down into a sauce. Or I can make a marinara or a pizza sauce or whatever I wanted to from this. But that's how easy it is to make sauce from frozen tomatoes. So let me know if you guys have any questions.